Hello everybody, today we are going to react to What Really Sank the Titanic, The Surprising Answer by Brightside. I'm really not looking forward to it, but let's get started. So now I'm going to turn it on and you'll probably see my reflection. Now what the hell? No.
Have you ever met a person who hasn't ever heard the story of Titanic? Unlikely. Even if you ask a 10-year-old, they'll tell you exactly what took down the gigantic ship. However, some survivors of the sinking legend would beg to differ. Here's one of their stories, and surprise, it has nothing to do with an iceberg.
Oh, let's hear this.
Armenian publicist Vodkanak Bayurate was 25 years old in the spring of 1912.
I think I heard
He
this
described
story
what happened
before.
on his journey to America on the most famous ship in the world in his memoirs. Quick history quiz. Do you remember when the Titanic left the Southampton dock?
Oh, wait a second.
1912?
What the hell is this model? What the hell? Has it become into a Cunard liner now? Why are the funnels red? Should be like this, everyone. Should look like this. the front, no, actually, I'll get another model. Those funnels are... I'm just going to pick one. I didn't really do good with this model, but can you see that it's orange? A tiny bit, like pale orange. That is orangey red. For crying out loud, how hard is it to get the right model correct? And also, this is wrong. There should be masts on the ship and everything. And where the hell is the anchor? I'm just gonna stop playing it again.
Yeah, that's right. Now, back to the story. In 1912, Vodkanak published some books together with his father, a famous Armenian writer. His task was to take the books to America.
Okay.
He had some health problems, so he was denied at the consulate at first, but he got the papers he needed to enter the U.S. after his father pulled some strings for him.
What the hell's that supposed to mean?
Vodkanak caught the legendary Orient Express from Istanbul to Le Havre, and from there he made it to Southampton. He learned that the nearest ship departing for the New World
Again, wrong
was
model.
the Titanic.
What the hell?
Everyone was talking about.
Can't get that on.
Excited about the journey.
I mean,
the
Titanic logo doesn't go there.
With a trendy cap and massive glasses that were popular in the U.S. at that time. The writer met three men with whom he shared cabin 804. They were two Englishmen and a French guy from Alsace named Morin. Because Morin and Vodkanak were around the same age, and Vodkanak could speak excellent French, they quickly became friends. They would hang out on the deck, at the onboard saloon, the bar, and the library.
I hate this model of the ship. I hate it. It looks like the Lusitania without the room at the stern.
They went to bed rather late on April 14th, just like on the other nights. Shortly after midnight, something that sounded like a big explosion woke everyone up. Bam! The night lights went out, and the Englishmen were jolted from their bunks by a strong push. One of them injured his head, and another one his arm. The two new friends helped them out, took a few belongings with them, and left the cabin, not knowing that they would never step back in it. Vodkanak only took his passport and all the cash he had, about $54. It was clear that something was wrong, yet it was quiet in the corridor. The young men tried to find out what was going on. None of the crew members wanted to say anything, but a few minutes later, it was impossible to deny that the Titanic was going underwater. Vodkanak noticed the sailors were getting the lifeboat.
For crying out loud, the Titanic didn't go into that angle. Look, that was physically impossible. Look, what it's showing is that it did this. Turn my hands to water, it did this. And then the stern is in this angle. But that's physically not possible. It should have been like that, and the stern would have been... Sorry, guys. Should have been... The propeller should barely be out of the water. I hate this. I need to put that back quick. There we go. Now let's get started again.
Boats out, and commanded they were only for women and kids. Some men tried to sneak in anyway, but gunshots were fired off to prevent them from doing so. Vodkanak and Morin looked at each other, understanding they had two choices: stay on the sinking ship and say goodbye to their futures, or at least try to save themselves by jumping in the water. Both wanted to live, and both knew they could swim well, so the choice was obvious. Morin managed to get them 2 life vests. Vodkanak put his passport and money in a little bag and tied it around his neck. The Titanic's bow was already underwater by that time.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Must have
It can't do that angle. Like, it's physically impossible for that to happen. Look, imagine this. In this angle, as you see, you know this rudder? Just the rudder of the Titanic was over 100 tons. Imagine that, and like the bulkheads and stuff, and the propellers, like those would have weighed down the ship. So if this happened, that can't happen. Oh,
taken them real courage.
but yeah, it can't happen.
Imagine you're in the middle of the high seas on a sinking ship, and you know no one will save you right away. A lot of people in this situation wouldn't have dared to take it to the open water. So Vodkanak and Morin jumped and got instantly separated by a sudden wave. It only made things worse, because braving this catastrophe with a friend was one thing.
If they jumped off the ship, how would their heads, their throats, no. How did they not get broken necks? 'Cause what I know is that the life vests, and it said that they jumped off in this, which they probably didn't, from here. And if they jumped from that high, what showed on there, their necks would be broken because the life vests didn't go out underwater at all. They just stayed there. So if you went in, your neck would be broken. And how did they survive? I just don't get this.
But doing it alone was way scarier. The
Oh,
water
yeah.
in the North Atlantic that night
And the ship did not sink. Oh wait, flag fell off. Did not sink like this after it snapped. It sunk straight up. You can't see it, but yeah, like that. And down. Crying out loud, get this correct.
was just below freezing at a scary 28 degrees Fahrenheit. The young rider felt his arms and legs go numb, and he was understandably
That's
getting weaker
believable.
and weaker every second. He lost the life vest, and now his only hope for survival was a lifeboat. He was about to faint, and it wasn't getting any warmer in the water. Just then, he bumped into something.
A lifeboat.
It was a lifeboat.
No,
But if you're hoping for a happy end at this point, I'll have to disappoint you. The boat was so overcrowded, they pushed the young man with a paddle when he tried to stick to the boat. He begged for help, but they refused to show mercy. Their logic was simple. One extra man in that boat could have made it sink, and no one in it would have had a chance for survival.
that's what really happened then. They tried to save passengers, but when the boats were filled with people, especially people from the water, the boats would have got swamped and would have sunk. So this is very believable what would happen.
Let go of the boat, and what happened after is a miracle.
I'm guessing he survived.
Vodkanak woke up alive on board another ship.
RMS
That
Carpathia.
ship was the Carpathia,
No.
and it was...
Oh, what the hell is this? I don't have a model with me. But why is that black? That should be white. The funnel, I think the funnel's correct. No, actually, I think it's a little bit more yellow. And what the hell? Now we need to move the camera. What is happening with that sign and that fence? There should be more people on the decks. No people on the decks as well. You can't even see the bottom of the ship. The hull of the ship. because it's underwater. Why is the Carpathia sign so big? I don't think they care about their models. I mean, it's fine, but but don't watch this if you don't know the full story. Otherwise, you're just going to get it wrong.
Park with lucky survivors on board. The rider had a terrible headache and he saw double. But what mattered most is that he escaped from the freezing ocean. How did he do it? He couldn't remember anything. The next evening, the ship made it to New York. Without his passport and money, which he must have lost at some point during the rescue, Vodkanak was taken to the hospital.
I didn't see the scene what I just did when the ship was like this in it. If you didn't see it because it was off camera, it sunk like this, they showed. But in real life, it didn't sink like that, it sunk like this. Pretend this is the ship. Oh yeah, you can't see. Sunk like that. Like this. No. Pretend when it snapped, the waterline was here and the propellers at the stern were nearly showing out of the water. It snapped underneath the second funnel and then eventually it snapped into 3 pieces, I think. And then it was in this angle, not this angle when it went down. It was like this. Okay? I just want to get that straight right now. And if you're a beginner of Titanic, I recommend you do not watch Brightside. Just don't. Even Historic Travels YouTube channel will agree with me. Just don't watch it. No, just don't.
Dear boy. She turned out to be the person who saved Vodkanak. Mrs. Astor was in her 50s, and she told the young man the lifeboat he tried to get into didn't actually leave without him. Mrs. Astor told the sailors that the young man was her son, and she wouldn't let them go without him, since she'd already lost her husband on the Titanic. It turned out she kept Vodkanak's passport and money, and invited him to visit her when he felt better. After he recovered, the writer was reunited with his family in Boston. He even received all the books he planned to sell in America, since they were traveling on a different ship.
Yeah.
Vodkanak lived a long and happy life, and as a great storyteller, he shared what happened to him many times. Interestingly, he's never mentioned an iceberg hitting the Titanic, and always spoke about an explosion.
The iceberg did not hit Titanic. For crying out loud. No one said it hit it. Titanic hit the iceberg. The iceberg did not hit Titanic. Okay? It's not like the iceberg could move and crash into Titanic. It's just absurd. It's the wrong way round. For goodness sake.
What he said was true. Something must have caused that huge explosion. It could have been a fire.
I hate this
Quite
model.
A lot of people actually believe that theory, saying that coal was burning in the ship's hull.
Well, do you know what I believe in? I think the fire was true, and the people, the crew, have to remove 300 tons of coal to the port side of the ship, I think. Because I'm a big Historic Travels fan, and I think I got that in one of his videos. So when the ship sunk, it was very surprising, because if all of that 300 tons was on the other side, it could have came out differently. And also, basically, the fire might have actually saved the ship from the very beginning.
That fire would have started long before the ship's departure, and there was simply no way to put it out. Titanic must have left with the fire still ongoing, and the flames weakening the hull so much it couldn't survive its meeting with the iceberg.
That could be possible.
Supporters of this theory use pictures of the Titanic leaving the docks for evidence, pointing to a huge dark mark on the hull. Even if that's true, though, it's still not obvious whether the fire led to an explosion, and supporters of this theory don't deny there was an iceberg. Another theory that explained the explosion claimed that there was a German U-boat involved in the
for crying out loud.
The Armenian writer was, in fact, not the only survivor who mentioned they heard explosion sounds coming from somewhere deep in the bowels of the ship.
That is not possible. I don't know this, but please correct me if I'm wrong. It weren't German U-boats first created in World War One, which was like 2 years after Titanic. And also, if a ship hit an iceberg, you would probably hear explosions. So why the hell would there be a German submarine coming to Titanic? Like, why? Like, that's never happened at that time. I mean, it could have, but Jesus.
And they'd also claimed they'd seen a searchlight coming from some ship shortly after Titanic had sunk. It wasn't a vessel hurrying to the rescue, so it could have actually been a submarine that surfaced.
Or it could have been the SS Californian, which didn't even know about Titanic sinking because...
just to see what it had done to the legendary ship. This theory is highly unlikely, though, for several reasons. First of all,
I've got a question.
The Titanic sank in 19...
What the hell is this dot? I mean, this square. Don't know what that is. I'm trying to think what it could be. Look, does that model... I mean, the stuff... Can you see a square on this ship? Before the mast? You can't. Like, I don't think they care about their models in this. But they should make better ones.
12, which was still a time of peace. No country in the world would dare to kill thousands of people and provoke other countries for no reason. Secondly, a U-boat from Europe couldn't have gone that far in those times.
See?
And it couldn't have been stationed in that region either. It simply wouldn't have survived there for a long time. Finally, hitting a target that's moving quickly at nighttime is still a challenge for submariners even today.
Yeah.
And it was basically
Ocean liners are too fast.
In 1912.
Submarines can't catch up.
It's hard to tell what could have made a man who survived such a tragedy remember things that did or didn't happen. Let's hope that in the future, scientists will be able to explain all the mysteries surrounding the Titanic. So, do you
what the
believe
hell?
an explosion might have killed Titanic?
What the hell is that? Why does it have 3 funnels and why is it so tall? And why is the iceberg smaller? Look, I'm going to give you a demonstration of how tall the iceberg was. The iceberg was taller than Titanic's bridge. And this looks like the bloody Queen Mary if it was like a mutant and it was like stretched from the bottom all the way up. Crying out loud. Titanic does not have 3 funnels. It has 4. 4. And they're not red.
And there was no iceberg at all? Let me know down in the comments.
I'm going to end it here now, everybody. I mean, it was about a few seconds away from the end anyway. And anyway, I can't deal with this. I really don't want to say this, but if you want to see me react to another bright side video of Titanic, put it down in the comments. I just hate doing this. And also, if you want more Titanic facts or her sister ships like RMS Olympic or HMHS Britannic or other ships, please tell me down below in the comments. And please subscribe and like, and see you in the next one. Bye!